Welcome to this week's edition of the Africa Today News New York Weekly News Roundup. Here are the top headlines for the week. Labour declares nationwide strike over minimum wage. Outrage as Tinubu signs national anthem change bill into law. Huggies maker announces exit from Nigeria, cites harsh economy. APC kicks as opposition parties knock Tinubu during one-year anniversary. Benin Republic begs Niger Republic to open buffer for oil exports. Burkina Faso junta extends military rule by 5 years. Donald Trump convicted in hush money trial. Barcelona announces Hansi Flick as new coach in charge. Now the news in detail. Members of the organized labor in Nigeria during the week declared a nationwide indefinite strike over the federal government's refusal to raise the proposed minimum wage from 60,000 naira. Comrade Joe Ajero, who is the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, who spoke alongside his trade union Congress counterpart Festus Osifo, expressed what it described as grave concern and disappointment over the federal government's failure to conclude and pass into law a new National Minimum Wage Act and reverse the hike in electricity tariff to 65 naira per kilowatt hour. Some Nigerians during the week took to social media to express outrage after the country's national anthem was changed with little consultation. President Bola Tinubu signed into law the bill to revert to Nigeria's old national anthem, which was dropped by a military government in 1978. The newly re-adopted anthem, which begins Nigeria We Hail Thee, was written by Lillian Jean Williams in 1959 and composed by Frances Berda. Kimberly-Clark, the American multinational and makers of Huggies, during the week confirmed their decision to stop local manufacturing and sales operations in Nigeria after 14 years. The company disclosed this decision in a statement released on Friday. It attributed the move to its recently adjusted global strategic priorities and the prevailing economic conditions in Nigeria. 1 year after mounting the saddle, the administration of the ruling All Progressives Congress APC, led by President Bola Tinubu during the week, was scored very low on the delivery of the good life to Nigerians by opposition political parties in the country. However, the APC National Publicity Director Bala Ibrahim disagreed with the opposition, which he labeled as a coalition of confused people. The president, who took office in May 29, 2023, writing on his policy document tagged the Renewed Hope Agenda. Let's go for a short break, and when we come back, the news continues. Now, on the African scene, the president of Benin Republic during the week again appealed to Niger's military rulers to collaborate and reopen their side of the border to allow oil exports via his country. Benin has eased trade restrictions on its side of the Niger border after sanctions were imposed on Niger following a coup in July last year. Benin President Patrice Talon has been complaining for weeks that Niger's leaders were not cooperating to restore ties and formally normalize trade. The military government of Burkina Faso during the week announced that it will extend junta rule for another 5 years. The country's ruler, Captain Ibrahim Traoré, will also be able to contest the next presidential elections. Recall that when he seized power in a coup nearly 2 years ago, Captain Traoré pledged to restore the civilian government by 1st July this year. Now on to world news. A New York jury during the week convicted Donald Trump on all charges in his hush money case in a seismic development that is coming barely 5 months ahead of the election where he seeks to recapture the White House. The first criminal trial of a former U.S. president concluded with 77-year-old Trump being found guilty on all 34 counts of falsifying business records to conceal a payment intended to silence porn star Stormy Daniels. He has since vowed to go on appeal. Finally, in sports, Barcelona during the week appointed former Germany and Bayern Munich manager Hansi Flick as head coach on a 2-year contract. Flick, who has not managed the club since being sacked by Germany in September 2023, will be tasked with reviving Barcelona's fortunes after the Catalan side failed to win any trophies this season under Xavi Hernandez, who was dismissed on a week earlier. And that's it on the news roundup. Join us again next weekend for all of our important news updates. I am Favor Aham.